Showed up today at my doorstep, and this is the first CDMA Windows Phone 7 device. It also is launching with the Nodo update, which gives us three things that I'll kind of walk through here in a second. And I'm a big fan of Windows Phone 7 for the most part. A little frustrated with the latest updates, but I still like the platform and I use it quite a bit. I've had both the Dell Venue Pro and the HD7 on T-Mobile, and was interested in seeing what Sprint had with the HTC Arrive. So here's the device. I'll go ahead and turn on the screen. Go back to the home, to the start actually. This is a typical Windows Phone 7 device. Meets the minimum specs, so it has the 1 gigahertz processor, Windows Phone 7, 5 megapixel camera. This one is probably the better of the ones that I've seen on Windows Phone 7 actually. Seems to take pretty decent pictures, especially compared to the Dell Venue Pro and the HD7. This one has a 3.6-inch WVGA 480 by 800 pixel resolution display. It's sold as a GSM version outside the US as the HTC 7 Pro, I believe it's called. Here in the US, it is a CDMA version, the only one available. The screen is a little bit small, 3.6 inch. I'm used to the 4.3 and the 4.1 inch ones that I have, but that looks very crisp, as you can see, and it still, it offers the extremely fluid Windows Phone interface that we love and know. And I won't go into all the details of Windows Phone 7 specifically. We do see there's some Sprint things and HTC things on here. Otherwise, it's fairly standard Windows Phone 7. We have the 3 touch buttons at the bottom. These look like speaker grills. They're just decoration. They're not actually speakers. Let's take a look at walk around the highway. So, of course, this is the spec. Requires a hardware button for the camera, which is there. Up on top, we have a power button, the headphone jack. Left side, there's volume buttons and the micro USB port for connection. On the bottom, there's a mic opening for the microphone. If we switch around the back, this is very nice quality hardware. We have a metal battery cover, and we have a 5 megapixel camera, and then a flash as well. Now the speaker is actually right here. This is the mono speaker. It's pretty loud. It sounded a little bit distorted at high volumes, but it's quite loud. 1400 milliampere battery, I believe, inside there, by the way. So the neat thing about the HTC Arrive is this, right? It has a slide-out QWERTY keyboard. So you slide it out, and once you go all the way out, it kind of pops up on springs. I'll be quiet and let you hear that. You can kind of see the spring assembly. Maybe you'll see it in there. So then when you bring it down, then you slide it back over. Now there is, if you go to the interim, you come in here halfway. It, of course, it does some of this kind of stuff and things. It's not super solid because the way they had to do the spring mechanism. Now, most people aren't going to mess around with it in the interim stages. They're just going to slide it up and flip it over into the socket there, I guess. So what you can see is the problem with Windows Phone 7 is they've allowed manufacturers to build these devices with the QWERTY keyboards. However, Windows Phone 7 doesn't do much for the QWERTY keyboards. It's still sitting there in portrait, which looks odd. You won't see the landscape until you jump into an application or something like that. What was I looking at earlier? Let's see. Oh, yeah, so I came over here to settings, right? And settings would kind of show up in there. So that actually worked out pretty good. I was just going to say, some of these things, when you go in here and start setting up accounts and stuff, it wasn't quite working very well. So some things, and then when you pop back out, you go into that, which you should never do that. It really should go and reorient itself, but Microsoft hasn't figured out how to do that yet. The one thing about this device is it has a fantastic keyboard. Now, as soon as I saw that keyboard, I said, well, let me compare it to what I think is the best QWERTY keyboard ever on a device. And as you can see, they are just about the same. This is the one on the bottom is the HTC. What is that? The Touch Pro 2. It's a Windows Mobile 6.5 device. But as you can see, I kept this device because the keyboard is just absolutely fantastic. I mean, this has 5 rows, so it has a full number keyboard. It has directional arrows, And they're both very similar, as you can see. So that's the Touch Pro 2. Very, very nice keyboard. And, you know, the HTC Arrive has this great keyboard as well. So if you're really into hardware keyboards, this is a nice device to consider. However, as you can see, the interface is not quite optimized yet for that keyboard experience. Now, let's just take a look at some of the things. There's 3 things that came with this Nodo update, and it launches on the Arrive. None of my other devices have received even the pre-Nodo update, so I don't know when that's going to show up. So one of the things is faster apps. Now, I don't have any apps loaded on this yet, so I can't necessarily try the app thing. Things do seem snappier. I'll have to try the app launching a little bit later. One of the things, though, that it has is copy-paste. So if we go into messaging, this is a standard Windows Phone message that was here. So then if I tap and hold, you can see copy, right? So let's go in here, let's create a new message. I'll go into the body of the message. Now, what you can see right over here to the left, there's a little clipboard, and that's the paste icon. Simply tap it, and I paste it in there. Now, one cool thing that I like is, what if I want to paste multiple times? I simply slide my finger across, brings up the clipboard, tap it again. Right? Now, if I'm in here, and last time I copied the whole text, you know, sometimes I'll copy the whole link from the web browser. If I want to just copy a word or two, I would just tap and hold. I think that's what I do. Okay, there it is. So I tap on a word, right? It simply launches the, since it sets up the little icon, the little arrows there, I can simply drag down however I want, that one side, up the other, tap it, it's copied, right? And then I can go down, paste it, tap on the word again, copy, paste. I think copy-paste has done work quite well. I've seen people talk about it as not being very well done, but it seems to me that it's pretty good. If we go into like a web browser, we have a link there. If I tap and hold on it, it says copy the link. I copy the link. I come up here. I hit the paste button, paste it in there. Boom. I go right to the story, right? So copy and paste works very quickly, very well. I like copy and paste. It's nice. The other big part of the update is something that was a pet peeve of mine before. So we go into the marketplace. Now, if you just tap the search button here in the marketplace, it'll search apps, games, and music. Now, if you go into either apps or games, pick one or the other, and then you tap the search button, you can see now there's an apps and games search. So it will actually filter out music. Because I know, like, I would always look for Nook, because I'm hoping to have the Nook application on here. And if I typed it before, it would show up a long list of titles that have that in there. Well, now it will just search apps and games. So those are the 3 main parts of the update, the Nodo update. I'm looking forward to it. Copy-paste looks very slick, very easy. Marketplace search is very, very handy. I'm tired of seeing all the music in my search results. And then the faster apps is always a nice thing. So that's a quick look at the HTC Arrive. I actually think I'm going to send this back. I'm going to be heading out of town for a little while, and I just won't have much time to spend with it. It's typical Windows Phone. You know, it has a QWERTY keyboard. Otherwise, it's like my other devices. Very nice keyboard at that. However, as you can see, some things are not quite optimized for that. If we jump in the calendar, see, things will switch over to it. But and then we can